Hi, Mandobug here with the Easy As 1, 2, 3 cowl, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the whip stitch to connect your cowl into one piece, and then also how to weave in your ends so that you have a completed piece. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now you should have all of your rows completed and you are ready to connect your cowl into one piece. So I'm going to show you how to do the whip stitch. So what you're going to have to do is with your color C here, with color C, go ahead and cut a length of yarn that's about 3 times the width of your piece here. And then you're going to thread your darning needle. You're going to need to line up the beginning and end of your pieces. You should have both sides kind of having these nice V stitches, and that's what we're going to be going into to do this whip stitch. So we're going to start on the end here. I have my working yarn, and we're going to come over the top of that first V stitch you see in color A, and we're going to enter that first V stitch you see in color C. We're just going to pull the yarn through. And we're just going to complete that all the way down. So you can see our next set of stitches here. We're going to go over the top and through both sides and pulling through. And you'll see it gives you that one stitch over the top. We're going to go into the next set. Just like that. You want to make sure that you have a pretty good tension on your yarn because you want it to be tight but not too tight. So you may have to adjust it manually as you sew. And you're just going to continue this all the way down the rest of your piece. You're going to want to make sure that all of your stitches are lined up so that you don't find yourself with an extra stitch to sew through at the end of your piece. So once you've finished whip stitching your piece together, this is what it should look like. And you can see those stitches where you've whipped it together, but I find that this is a quick finishing process for crochet. So now that you've whip stitched your piece together, it's time to take care of all of these ends. There is no right way or wrong way to weave in your ends. I'm just going to show you how I do it to give you an idea of where to start. To weave in your ends, you're just going to take one, whichever one you want to weave in, and thread it through your darning needle. And you're just going to want to weave it in and out of your work. You kind of want to anchor it where you can so that it won't slip out. And you also kind of want to hide it so that it doesn't distort your stitches. So I'm just going to pick some stitches to run my thread through. Sometimes I like to run through my stitches. I find it's much easier to weave in your ends with crochet than it is with knitting because your stitches are quite thicker. Now, as I'm weaving in my end here, I don't want to pull too tight because I don't want it to distort the fabric at all. And I also don't want to mess with the tension of anything. You'll also see that I'm kind of zigzagging. I like to zigzag when I weave in my ends because I find that it secures them a little bit better. Once you've woven in enough of your tail that you feel comfortable that it's not going to come out, you can just go ahead and snip where you left off. And I like to kind of pull on the yarn, pull on the project to make sure it's not going to come out and to make sure that everything is secure. So you can kind of see my end a little bit there, but for the most part, it's pretty seamless. You want to make sure that you don't go over the top of your stitches because you don't want to have a long line of thread. I'm making sure to go in between the stitches so that it hides the yarn. So you can see I've inserted my needle. You want to make sure you don't see it on the back side either. And you can see it a little bit. Wherever your needle is, that's where the yarn's going to show. So no yarn will show here, and a little bit of yarn will show through the back, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to go ahead and snip it. So continue to weave in your ends through the rest of the cowl until your piece is finished. So now that you've whip stitched your cowl together and woven in all your ends, you should have a finished piece. I like to wear my cowl doubled over. Like this, you can fuss and play. This cowl should keep you nice and warm in the spring, mostly through the winter. So I hope you guys enjoy your finished object, and please make sure to share it in the Skacel group on Ravelry. Also make sure to head on over to CrochetAlongTogether.com to download your Crochet Along Together entry form and follow the rules for the giveaways. I hope you guys enjoyed this Crochet Along Together, and I look forward to doing more in the future. All right guys, see you next time.